Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
Anger and frustration. Motorists are seeing dramatic increases at the pumps.
I think it's man. Yeah, I don't know, like the gas price is already high.
And one business on White Avenue still can't open up their popular patio.
We thought it was going to be short-term pain for some long-term gain.
Plus, raising awareness for a misunderstood condition.
It's really nice when people donate because we are trying to create an awareness for autism. A lot of families don't realize the struggle that these families go through.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NAIT NewsWatch. I'm Stephen Leong.
And I'm Roxanne Harnack. Up first, we'll take a look at how the carbon tax is affecting Canada. Our Harold Abwan joins us live from the NAIT hallways with more on the story.
Thanks, Roxanne. Many feel that the carbon tax is squeezing more out of Canadians than ever. And adding that on top of the provincial carbon tax that Albertans are already paying has them in particular feeling the sting. This sticker shocker has become all too familiar to drivers at the pump. As of April 1st, the federal government's carbon tax increased to 17.6 cents per liter of gasoline. This is on top of the 4 cents per liter that Albertans are already paying because of the provincial carbon tax. The rising gas prices are putting a strain on many drivers.
I don't like it. It's I used to be able to get a tank of gas for $100. Now I'm sitting at about 120 to fill this thing. It's not fun.
I think it's man. Yeah, I don't know, like the gas price is already high and like, bro, it's like you're filling up like once a week, like that much money. It's like,
I'm not a huge fan of it. Obviously, with these rising gas prices, it's harder for everyone to travel. It's harder to get places, even short distances. So
right now, it's too much. It's not good. I don't really like it, but you have no choice. When it's going up, right?
The double whammy of taxes have led to plenty of political debate surrounding the carbon tax. There have even been protests, like the recent Spike the Hike protest in downtown Edmonton that followed Pierre Poilievre's rally, and the Axe the Tax convoys on the Trans-Canada Highway. But what exactly is the situation with gas prices? What does the supply situation look like? According to Chief Petrol Analyst with EN Pro Roger McKnight, it's not encouraging. If America can't sort out its problems soon, Canada and the rest of the world will share in its struggles. If you want to see the national average gas prices, the Canadian Automobile Association keeps track of that. You can find the numbers at www.caa.ca/gas-prices.
Harold, can you expand on what you meant when you said the supply situation isn't encouraging? Why is that?
So, according to EN Pro's Chief Petroleum Analyst Roger McKnight, the latest United States inventory report shows a large draw in levels of both gasoline and diesel. Crude oil inventories are also up by 3.3 million, but that's because the refineries are just in maintenance mode and they're storing extra. They're not actually getting more oil per se, they're just refining less of it. There's also crude oil prices being raised because of the Israel-Hamas war, and Russia is also exporting less diesel. So America is being relied on more than ever for their petroleum.
Harold, is there anything drivers can do to adapt to the rising gas prices?
Yeah, so there are a couple habits that drivers can pick up or continue. You can plan out your trips, you can fuel up at the cheapest gas station near you, you can carpool more. Honestly, a lot of these revolve around driving less, but if you can't help that, then Natural Resources Canada recommends that you accelerate gently, you anticipate traffic, maintain a steady speed, use less high speeds, and avoid idling your car, less air conditioning, and keep your car as light as possible. Back to you.
Thanks, Harold. That was our Harold Buon reporting live from the NAIT hallways.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
2 bridges in our city have been renamed to honor a pair of Edmonton police officers who were killed in the line of duty last year. The bridges that run over the North Saskatchewan River between Terwilliger Drive and Muskegosee Trail will be honored after Constables Travis Jordan and Brett Ryan. They were fatally shot on March 16, 2023, after responding to a call about a family dispute.
Each had an impact on so many lives in their short time, and their love for their family, their friends and colleagues was evident in every action they took. Today, we celebrate not only their individual legacies, but also the unbreakable bond that was shared by these two partners.
The westbound bridge will honor Constable Ryan, who was born in Edmonton and lived in Spruce Grove, while the eastbound bridge will honor Constable Jordan, who was born in Digby, Nova Scotia. Memorial signs with the fallen officers' names will be posted at the ends of each bridge.
A local pub that prides itself on its patio atmosphere is experiencing a bureaucratic nightmare as other businesses open up their patios. Hudsons on White Ave has endured 3 long years of sidewalk construction, and now that it's completed, they're still unable to safely open up their patio with no end in sight.
We've had 2 accidents on the White Ave side where 2 DUIs where vehicles have driven over our boardwalk, and luckily no one was hurt, but if pedestrians have to sit there and customers have to sit there, someone could get very, very hurt by that. It's also just a bigger challenge for us to serve people over there.
The walkway in question is very restrictive as is, placing customers right next to the busy street with 0 barriers in place. For now, Hudson's business owners say they will keep hurting until the city restores their clearance. The Alberta NDP will be getting a new face. Their leader, Rachel Notley, announced last January she will be stepping down after almost 10 years of office.
That's right. March 15th was the official cutoff date, kicking off the race to voting in a new leader in June. Our Fiona Srita attended a leadership showcase to see how the candidates are hitting the ground running.
The candidates gathered Wednesday night in Sherwood Park in a leadership showcase for each of their personal campaigns. In the race are Edmonton MLA Jody Calahoo-Stonehouse, Calgary MLA Kathleen Gainley, Edmonton MLA Sarah Hoffman, Alberta Federation of Labour President Gil McGowan, and former Calgary Mayor Naheed Nenshi.
It's an invitation to all our friends and neighbours in Alberta to say, come and examine the values and the ethics of today's NDP. Understand that they are also your values and your ethics. Understand that this is the vehicle that we need, the movement that we need in order to improve our community.
The race began after Rachel Notley announced she would be leaving as leader of the party in January, following a new leadership election. Notley has been leader of the party since 2014 and was Premier of Alberta from 2015 to 2019.
Having considered what I believe to be the best interests of our party, our caucus, as well as my own preferences, I'm here today to announce that I will not be leading Alberta's NDP into the next election.
Strathcona Community Hall was absolutely packed. Tonight was the first event bringing all the leadership candidates together for the first time.
As my time at staff, I was working as a researcher. We had 4 MLAs, and then a new MLA came on the scene, Rachel Notley. And Rachel and I worked very close together.
Membership is required by April 22nd to vote. The voting period begins May 22nd, and the winner will be announced June 22nd.
The Edmonton Mountain Biking Alliance is fundraising and gathering support for a new mountain biking park along the North Saskatchewan River. Estimated to be completed by late 2025, the park is planned to have a myriad of trails and skill ramps to get your athlete on.
There's, like I said, many people that want to come help in some way, and not only with building the park, but operating it and maintaining it long term. So there's a very enthusiastic community that wants to see this built. Yeah, the skills area kind of zigzags.
Separated into 4 distinct rankings, rising in difficulty. Green for beginners, then blue for intermediate, black for skilled riders, and double black for experts.
A Canadian hair salon that specializes in kids' haircuts is raising funds for a newly announced K-6 school for kids with autism. April is Autism Awareness Month, and all 4 Beaners Fun Cuts locations across the city are gathering donations which will go to the Children's Autism Services of Edmonton. The organization recently acquired the land and building for the new school.
We are trying to create an awareness for autism. A lot of families don't realize the struggle that these families go through and the kids that go through. Children's Autism Society for Edmonton is a local Edmonton organization that helps and works with kids with autism within Edmonton, so it's also a great initiative for us to pair up with a local organization.
The new K-6 school, which is exclusive for children with autism, is slated to open its doors in September. Donations can be made online at childrensautism.ca or by visiting any one of the Beaners Fun Cuts locations. Coming up after the break, we want to know if the NAIT-bound LRT being down to 3 cars has affected your commute.
Then, will the NFL's new controversial rule change trickle down to affect Canadian football?
Hi, I'm Mary Massan, your sports host for this week. Coming up, we got an announcement from the Edmonton Stingers regarding 2 new managing partners and how a university-run club is training new competitors.
Hey guys, it's Nick Dubé, your weather host for this week. We got surprised this morning with a little bit of snow, but it's looking like it might be the last one for the year, so hopefully you guys took advantage of it. That and more in weather.
You know, we've had a crazy spring season this year. Don't you agree?
I do. The dramatic changes in temperature from day to day has to stabilize at some point, right?
Oh, I sure hope so. Maybe our Nick Dubé has a bright forecast in our future.
Thanks, guys. It's been a wild spring weather-wise with a mixed bag of temperatures, but at least we're close to seeing the last of the white stuff. It's almost like you can never tell when it's truly time to put away your winter coats. In Calgary, it looks like they are going to get, well, quite a bit of snow and rain with an 80% chance of precipitation. They have a high of +4 and a low of -3. Moving to Jasper, it looks like they might get a little bit of sun, but still a little bit cloudy with a high of +11 and a low of -5. In Fort McMurray, pretty much the same with some clouds, a little bit of sun coming through the back, but they have a high of +10 and a low of -3. Now in the capital city of Edmonton, it looks like a little bit cloudy, but no snow, no rain in the forecast, a high of +8 and a low of -4. Now, it's not quite the lowest day on record, but it's definitely not the highest either. So for now, we're just going to have to enjoy those moderate temperatures up until Monday when the temperatures slowly start to rise into the teens. I'm Nick Dubé with your weather.
NewsWatch Weather, sponsored by NR92, Campus Radio.
Last week's question of the week had asked what your favorite Easter candy was.
And it looks like Cadbury mini eggs were the most popular choice.
Congratulations to Dom_ESQ, who commented, definitely Cadbury mini eggs. I couldn't agree more. Contact the NAIT Nugget to claim your prize.
This week's question of the week is how the Metro Line LRT is down to 3 cars and if it affects you. Head on over to @TheNateNugget on Instagram, and the top comment will receive a great prize. Did you know that the Edmonton Stingers announced 2 new owners this week?
No, I had no idea. But I did know that there was a huge announcement on Wednesday. Not much else happening though. But maybe our Miriam Hassan can tell us more.
Thanks, guys. That's right. The Edmonton Stingers welcomed 2 new managing partners and investors in the Canadian Elite Basketball League this week. The pair are the co-founders of Calgary-based Minas Breweries and Distilleries and are well known in the business community. But they are also avid basketball fans.
A neat way for us to kind of give back to the community.
The Minas siblings and entrepreneurs, Manji and Ravinder, were announced on Wednesday as managing partners of the Stingers and investors in the CEBL. Manji will become the first female owner in CEBL history, and with her brother, they will join Tank Vander and James Burns with Stinger Entertainment Group in operating the team.
And we said, I think this is something that we want to be part of. And so those conversations started, and that's why we're here today to announce and our excitement to join the ownership team.
And so we're really proud to be investing in Alberta once again, and to see not only what the future holds, for sure for Edmonton, it is another championship, but for the CEBL League.
The Stingers will begin their 2024 season in Calgary on Tuesday, May 21st, and their first home game will be on June 2nd against the Saskatchewan Rattlers. This week, I had the opportunity to check out the University of Alberta Taekwondo Club, where members with varying levels of experience and skill are learning to prepare for competitions. The UA Taekwondo Club is the only university taekwondo club in Alberta. Up until last year, it was mainly a recreational activity for those who wanted to improve their fitness level or learn martial arts. However, in September, the mentors decided to introduce competitions and belt testing.
It took a lot of work to get into this, to get this up and going. We've been really wanting to really give members the opportunity to see what Taekwondo is more of. Like, our club is not, Taekwondo is not just drills of learning how to kick and sweat and maybe cry.
The club's first competition, the Korean Consul General Cup, took place in Calgary last year. 20 members participated, with over half competing for the first time, and even some won their first medal.
I got a gold medal, and we just did it, and it was a really crazy experience, but competing has opened a whole bunch of doors for me in terms of I've been able to get certified as a referee, I've been able to develop a lot of my skills.
For many of the mentors, the competitions are a way for them to get back into competing and share their skills with new members.
Has given me the chance now to actually compete as well as become a referee, and then now moving forward is going to be like national competitions that I'll be reffing at as well as just competing at, so it's been a great journey so far.
The NFL has agreed upon some new rules that will be implemented for the 2024 season. Will these rules come up north and impact our local teams? Our Tristan Shaw has more.
The NFL will be kicking off its 2024 season with some new changes. Literally. 12 new rules have been agreed upon by the league and will be implemented at the start of next season. Amongst these new rules, 2 of them have been the topic of discussion lately, those being the changes to kickoffs and the ban of hip drop tackles.
The kickoff, what they're trying to eliminate is, they're running down at full speed and crashing into each other, and I think they've done a good job of that.
With this new rule, players won't be allowed to move until the receiver catches the ball. This will, in turn, reduce the number of full-speed collisions that occur and also eliminate unexpected onside kicks. Although it is quite a dramatic change, the general opinion seems to be positive.
And I think what they're doing now is just saying, look, let's just make it almost like an offensive play, where the ball will get into the hands of the returner, everybody's within a certain period of time, and no one can get that kind of inertia going that could potentially really hurt somebody.
A hip drop tackle is defined by when a player wraps their arms around the ball carrier, swivels, drops their hip, using their body weight to take the carrier down in the process, usually trapping the carrier's legs and consequently having them fall on them in the process. It doesn't sound too fun now, does it? Uh-oh. A 15-yard penalty will now be given to limit these tackles. Opinions on this change vary. Some think it may hinder the run of play, while others think it's great for player safety.
I definitely see both sides of the game. Especially in a defensive perspective, it's pretty tough to get rid of a big part of the game, and kind of telling guys that you're not allowed to tackle someone a certain way. It does kind of hinder the way they play. However, on the offensive side of the ball, like if we're talking about protecting players and lengthening the longevity of players, then I don't see how that can be an issue.
So what do these rule changes have to do with our local sports teams? Well, although these rules are only coming to the NFL right now, the possibility of the CFL and even amateur leagues following suit isn't out of the realm of possibility.
I would very much anticipate it being a part of our penalty system even as early as next year.
Tristan Shaw, NAIT NewsWatch.
Honestly, watching the members at the Taekwondo Club practice made me want to give it a try.
Oh, I agree. I think it'd be tons of fun to try myself, especially since curling season ended for me.
Honestly, I got tired watching all those kicks. Thanks, Miriam. Coming up, a former NAIT RTA grad retires after 35 successful years in the radio business.
Plus, a fun interactive party that you can play with your friends.
What the freak?
The fact that there is no elimination, that when you die your role is not revealed and you still take part in the game.
Coming up in entertainment, we take a look at what's going to be happening right here when the sun and the moon align. Plus, we talk to a local star about his 35 years in radio. Stay tuned for more.
NAIT NewsWatch 2024 Team Apparel is brought to you by Cratex Industries, Elko Promotions, and Vienna Bakery.
Wow, what a long week it's been. I just want to go home, relax, and not think about class for a while.
Honestly, same. My friends and I have been looking for a new way to up the stakes of our game nights.
Well, lucky for you, our Candace Slosky took a look at a game that may just be what you're looking for in this week's Try This segment.
Welcome indeed, dear viewer, to Blood on the Clock Tower, a social deduction game created by the Pandemonium Institute, where truth is the most valuable currency. There are 2 teams selected at random, good and evil. The evil players are made up of the demon and their minions, whose goal is to kill enough good players to win the game, whereas the good team wants to sniff out and kill the demon. Every player in the game has a power, which can either be a help or a hindrance to their side.
It would be a lie to say that it wasn't born from a love of games like Werewolf and Town of Salem, but the fact that there is no elimination, that when you die your role is not revealed and you still take part in the game, you still take part in discussion and you still win or lose with your team, that's such a huge difference to Werewolf that it fundamentally changes the way you approach the game.
Steven has died in the night.
If there is no elimination, then the game is no longer about conserving lives, it's about gathering information.
Because I was told from Candace that either you or Harold is one of the minions.
The official Blood on the Clock Tower YouTube channel has an in-depth guide for beginners on how to get started, and the game itself comes with numerous manuals explaining everything you could want to know about it. Once you become a more advanced player, there are harder scripts with more confusing characters, and even more expansions will be released at some time in the future. The game is available at select retailers or on the Blood on the Clock Tower website. For now, beware of the lies, and if you're curious about how our game turned out, evil has won. Yes! Wait, what? Well, it may lose you a bit of trust. It's still a really fun activity for you and your friends. So, if you're in the mood to spice up your game night, you gotta try this!
You know, I've heard all around campus that there's a unique event happening in the sky on Monday.
That's right, Stephen. Our Alex Jagger has more on how this week's entertainment could align with you.
Thanks, guys. Things might get a little shady this Monday as a partial solar eclipse will be seen in Edmonton. People wishing to see the event are being asked by TELUS World of Science to wear proper protective gear when looking at the sun. While Eastern Canada will be getting a chance at a better viewing of the solar eclipse, here we will see the moon cover only about a quarter of the sun at most. Solar eclipses like this only happen about 2 times a year, according to a local expert, with about another 2 lunar eclipses happening within a year.
We get about an hour and 45 minutes of time of watching the moon slowly move across the disk of the sun and then move off the disk of the sun. But again, it's only a partial, and people will have to wear these or come here and they can look at it safely through our telescopes that have proper solar filtration on it.
If you miss this celestial event, Edmonton will be having a total solar eclipse in 2044. TELUS World of Science is known for engaging their audience with experiments. But what about dinosaurs? Dinosaurs The Exhibition is on at TELUS World of Science. And our Kayla Patterson went down to see something that is bigger than you could ever imagine.
Welcome to an experience a million years in the making, where ancient giants once roamed the earth. The TELUS World of Science is allowing visitors to get up close with life-size displays that will take you way back in time. The exhibition is here to show off the amazing life-size animatronics and to get those interested for some first-hand fossil discovery. Dino experts are on location to share their knowledge and love for dinosaurs to inspire the next generation of scientists.
In our exhibit here, Dinosaurs The Exhibition, we have a lot of really cool displays, including animatronics and casts. But on display, we often get asked about whether any of the specimen skeletons that are on display are actually real. And unfortunately, they're all casts.
So whether or not you're a dino enthusiast or just curious about the world before humans, Dinosaurs The Exhibition at the TELUS World of Science promises a memorable experience for all ages.
They're some of the fanciest animatronic dinosaurs I've ever seen. They are hyper-realistic. They're all to scale, which means that they're the real size that those dinosaurs would have been in real life. We also have some really cool skeletons around the exhibit.
If you're looking for something big to do this weekend, head on over to the TELUS World of Science where Dinosaurs The Exhibition is taking place. Here you'll be able to see live animatronics, expert fossil finders, and dig for some of your own bones. I'm Kayla Patterson with NAIT NewsWatch.
Local radio celebrity Chris Sheets is closing his chapter with Kissin' Country Radio. The experienced radio host has been on the air for 35 years, growing and helping the community as he interacts with it. While the methods of playing music and interacting with listeners may have changed over the years, in this booth, one thing hasn't. Chris Sheets can still remember the days where records and CDs were how he played music to listeners. Now, with more digital tools at his disposal, he can bring more to the community that he has seen the kindness of firsthand.
When I lived in a tractor for 5 days, that was one of the very first things that I did for the farmers that were drought-stricken at the time. And I think that that one will always be the most memorable because it was overwhelming by the time it was done, and seeing the support of people, which I've seen countless times since.
While he started out listening to the radio on a farm, he plans on still tuning in as a listener and interacting with the community on social media. So it looks like there's a lot going on at TELUS World of Science. Anything you guys are particularly interested in?
Alex, I think that the dinosaurs would be a lot of fun to see. You know, I've tried roaring as loud as they can, but alas, it's just not meant to be.
You know, it's mind-boggling to me that Chris Sheets has been on air for 35 years. And while it's sad to see him go, I am excited to see what the future holds for him. Thanks, Alex.
Absolutely.
Well, what a crazy week it was.
Yeah, Stephen, what a variety of stories we've covered this week.
Well, that's it for our show this week. But, Roxanne, there's still one more regular show left, plus 2 extra shows, where we bring you some special in-depth reports on interesting people and subjects in our community. From us here at NAIT NewsWatch, have a great weekend.